Let me start with something I've seen too many times. A senior loses their footing, takes a fall, and in a single moment, their independence changes forever. Maybe it's a hip fracture, maybe a broken wrist, or sometimes even worse. And it's heartbreaking, because in many cases, these falls could have been prevented with one simple thing: better balance. As we pass 60, our muscles naturally weaken, our reflexes slow, and our bones become more fragile. I know it can feel discouraging, as if aging is stealing our freedom one step at a time. But here's what I want you to hear clearly. You are not powerless. Balance is like any other skill. It can be trained, strengthened, and improved at any age. I have spoken with seniors in their late 70s and even early 80s who have rebuilt their balance to the point where they feel confident walking on uneven ground, climbing stairs, and even playing with their grandchildren. And they didn't get there by luck. They got there by practicing simple, effective balance exercises every single day. That's what I want to share with you today. 5 powerful balance exercises that every senior must know. Each one is easy to do at home, requires little to no equipment, and can help you reduce your risk of falls dramatically. If you commit to these, you can walk with more confidence, stand taller, and move through life without that constant fear of falling. So let's begin with the first exercise, one of the most basic, yet most effective. Before we continue, let me ask you, where are you watching from? I'd love to know which part of the world you're tuning in from, and also, what's one healthy habit you never skip in your daily routine? Share it with us in the comments below. Number 1. Heel-to-toe walk. This first exercise is called the heel-to-toe walk, and it is a cornerstone for improving balance after 60. Imagine you're walking on a tightrope, placing one foot directly in front of the other, heel touching toe. It sounds simple, but don't underestimate its power. Here's why it works so well. As we age, our ability to walk in a straight line without wobbling starts to fade. Everyday movements, like stepping off a curb or walking through a narrow hallway, require that same type of control. By practicing the heel-to-toe walk, you are retraining your body to stay steady and aligned even when the space around you is tight. This exercise does more than strengthen your legs. It sharpens your coordination, posture, and core stability. When you walk heel-to-toe, your brain and body must work together to maintain balance. This brain-body connection is critical because many falls happen not just from weak muscles, but from the brain failing to react quickly enough to a loss of balance. When I guide seniors through this exercise, I often see the transformation in their confidence. At first, they may wobble or look down nervously with every step, but within weeks, something changes. Their steps become smoother, their gaze more steady, and their body more upright. And you can see it in their faces, the return of trust in their own strength. One of the most beautiful things about the heel-to-toe walk is how it prepares you for real life. Think about stepping out of a bathtub, walking on a narrow sidewalk, or carrying groceries through a crowded store. These are the moments when balance matters most, and this exercise equips you for them. Every step you take heel-to-toe is more than practice. It is a declaration that you refuse to let age control your independence. It is you telling your body, I am still strong, I am still steady, and I will not live in fear of falling. Number 2. Single leg stand. Now that we've practiced the heel-to-toe walk, it's time to move into one of the most essential balance exercises I believe every senior must practice: the single leg stand. It might sound too simple, just standing on one foot, but don't underestimate it. This little exercise is a mirror of real life. Think about it for a moment. Every time you take a step, you are briefly standing on one leg. When you climb stairs, get dressed, step over a curb, or shift your weight to reach for something, you are doing the same thing. If your body can't hold steady on one leg, then each of these daily movements becomes a potential risk. That's why this exercise is so powerful. It trains the exact skill you need for safe, confident movement. As we age, the muscles that support our ankles, knees, and hips slowly weaken. These muscles are small, often overlooked, but they are the foundation of stability. Without them, the body wobbles, and the risk of losing balance grows. The single leg stand directly targets these stabilizers, making them stronger and quicker to respond. And there's something else. Balance isn't just about muscles, it's also about the brain. When you stand on one leg, your body sends signals to your brain, asking for constant adjustments. This brain-body communication sharpens your reflexes, helping you react faster if you stumble in real life. Seniors who train this way are less likely to fall because their body learns how to catch itself before hitting the ground. One of the things I love most about the single leg stand is how it activates muscles you didn't even know were weak. When I guide seniors through this exercise, they often feel tiny muscles working around their ankles and hips. At first, there may be trembling or wobbling. That's perfectly normal. It's simply those muscles waking up after years of not being challenged. Over time, that trembling reduces, and those muscles begin to hold steady. And with stronger stabilizers, every step becomes safer, every movement more confident. Did you know that doctors and researchers sometimes use balance tests like the single leg stand to measure longevity? Studies have shown that seniors who can stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds are significantly less likely to suffer fractures or mobility loss. In other words, this one simple skill can predict how well you'll move through your later years. That's why I call it not just an exercise, but a life-saving habit. Let me share something I've noticed. At first, many people approach this exercise with doubt. They wobble, grab a chair, and feel frustrated. But I always tell them, don't measure yourself against perfection. Measure yourself against yesterday. Maybe today you hold for 5 seconds, tomorrow, 7, next week, 12. And suddenly, you're standing tall for half a minute, smiling, realizing that you can trust your body again. That feeling of being steady, of not fearing the floor beneath you, is priceless. It transforms the way you walk, climb, and live. This is more than physical training. It's a mental victory. Every second you hold steady sends a message to your mind. I am capable, I am strong, I can depend on myself. That confidence is what keeps people moving with dignity in their later years. Think about the daily moments where this skill protects you. Lifting one foot to put on socks or pants. Stepping off a bus or train, walking across uneven ground. Reaching for something on a shelf while shifting your weight. Each of these moments carries a fall risk if your balance isn't steady. But when you've trained with the single leg stand, your body knows how to handle them. That's the beauty of it. You're not just practicing in place, you're preparing for the real world. Every time you practice this exercise, remind yourself, this is not just about balance, it's about freedom. Freedom to move without fear. Freedom to continue living life on your own terms. Freedom to enjoy the little things, gardening, shopping, walking with family, without constantly worrying about a fall. To me, the single leg stand represents independence. Each second you hold steady is like saying to yourself, I refuse to let aging take away my confidence. I choose strength. I choose balance. I choose life. Number 3, side leg raises, strengthening the pillars of stability. Now that we've worked on walking in a straight line and standing on one leg, it's time to strengthen the muscles that often decide whether we stay upright or take a dangerous fall, the muscles on the sides of our hips and legs. For this, one of the most effective exercises is the side leg raise. It may look simple, but this exercise trains the exact muscles that keep you steady when life throws you off balance. Most people think of balance as something controlled only by the feet or core. But that's not the whole story. The hip muscles, especially the gluteus medius, are like the body's stabilizing anchors. Every time you step sideways, shift direction, or recover from a stumble, these muscles fire to keep you upright. As we get older, these muscles naturally weaken because we don't use them enough. Walking forward doesn't challenge them much. Sitting for long hours makes them even weaker. And when they weaken, something dangerous happens. You start to sway when walking, shuffle instead of stepping, or lose control when making a quick side movement. That's often when falls happen. The side leg raise directly targets these forgotten muscles, bringing them back to life. Here's what it looks like. You stand tall, hold onto a chair or wall for support, and slowly lift one leg out to the side, keeping it straight. Then you bring it back down with control. Simple, yes, but the effect is profound. As you practice, the muscles along the outside of your hip and thigh begin to strengthen. These are the guardrail muscles. They keep your body aligned when the world around you feels unsteady. Think about stepping sideways on uneven ground, catching your balance after being bumped in a crowd, or reaching out quickly to grab something. These guardrails keep you safe in those moments. Most people imagine falls as forward slips, but research shows that sideways falls are the most dangerous. They often lead to hip fractures, the kind of injury that can steal independence in an instant. By training with side leg raises, you are directly reducing your risk of the exact type of fall that causes the most harm. There's another benefit. As these side muscles strengthen, your posture improves. Instead of leaning or shuffling, you begin to stand taller, walk smoother, and feel lighter on your feet. I've seen seniors transform their gait after just a few weeks of practicing side leg raises. Suddenly, they look more confident, and their steps carry a rhythm of strength instead of hesitation. I'll tell you what I find most moving. When someone begins this exercise, they often feel how weak those side muscles really are. Sometimes they laugh, sometimes they get frustrated. But week by week, the improvement is obvious. Their legs hold steadier, their hips feel stronger, and their steps become wider and more natural. That change doesn't just build strength, it builds courage. And courage is what helps you step into the world again without fear of falling. Courage is what allows you to join a walk with friends, to dance a little at a family gathering, or to play outside with your grandchildren. Every time you lift your leg to the side, think of it as building your body's guardrails. Each repetition says, I am protecting myself. I am reinforcing my independence. I am making sure I can keep living on my own terms. That's the true gift of the side leg raise. It's not just an exercise, it's insurance for your freedom. Number 4. Heel and toe raises, strengthening the roots of balance. Now that we've trained our coordination with walking heel to toe, tested our steadiness on one leg, and strengthened the side muscles with leg raises, it's time to look at the foundation of it all, our feet and ankles. Because here's the truth. If the base is weak, the whole structure wobbles. That's why the heel and toe raise exercise is so powerful. Most seniors don't think much about their ankles until they twist one or stumble, but in reality, your ankles are like shock absorbers and stabilizers for the entire body. Every step you take, every time you shift your weight, the ankles are quietly working to keep you upright. The problem is, as we age, the ankle and foot muscles weaken. Years of wearing soft shoes, sitting too long, and not challenging the feet cause them to lose their natural strength. And when the ankles can no longer react quickly to changes in terrain, like a slippery floor, a curb, or uneven ground, falls happen. The heel and toe raise brings those forgotten muscles back to life. The movement is simple. First, you stand tall and slowly rise up on your toes, lifting your heels off the ground. Then, you shift and rock back, lifting your toes so you are balanced on your heels. This back and forth motion works the muscles in your calves, shins, and feet. These are the muscles that catch you when you trip, help you adjust quickly if you step awkwardly, and give you the push to climb stairs. Every time you do heel and toe raises, you are building a safety net in your lower legs that can protect you in those split seconds when balance could be lost. One of the biggest fears for seniors is a sudden forward fall or backward stumble. Forward falls can mean hitting the knees or face, while backward falls can be especially devastating because of the risk of head injuries. Strengthening the ankles with this exercise directly reduces those dangers. When your toes are strong, they grip the ground and stop you from pitching forward. When your heels and shins are strong, they prevent you from tipping backward. It's a 360-degree defense system for your balance. What I've noticed with seniors who practice heel and toe raises is not just physical improvement, but a renewed trust in their own steps. At first, many walk as if the ground might betray them, moving slowly, carefully, with hesitation. But after a few weeks of strengthening their ankles and feet, they begin to step with more certainty. They stop watching the floor with fear. They begin to look up again. to the people around them, to the world in front of them. That shift is more powerful than you might imagine because it takes away the constant shadow of worry that many seniors carry. For me, heel and toe raises are more than an exercise. They are a reminder of progress. Every time you rise on your toes, you're saying, I am reaching forward. I am not stuck. I am moving ahead. Every time you rock back on your heels, you're saying, I am steady. I am safe. I will not be pushed down. Together, they create a rhythm that is both physical and emotional, a rhythm of resilience. Number 5. Chair. Sit to stand, rebuilding strength for everyday life. We've worked on walking straight, standing tall on one leg, strengthening the side muscles, and building ankle power. Now it's time for the final balance exercise, one that is both simple and absolutely essential. The chair, sit to stand. This exercise is exactly what it sounds like. Sitting down on a chair and then standing back up repeatedly with control. At first, it might not seem like a balance exercise at all, but let me tell you why it's one of the most important ones you can practice. Think about it. How many times a day do you sit and stand? From the dining table, from your bed, from the couch, from the toilet? Each one of these movements is a moment of vulnerability. If your legs are weak or your balance is shaky, those everyday motions can lead to slips, stumbles, or even dangerous falls. The sit-to-stand strengthens the largest muscles in your body, the thighs, hips, and core. These are the powerhouse muscles that allow you to rise confidently, stay upright, and recover if you start to lose balance. Without them, even basic independence becomes difficult. With them, you protect your freedom. Here's the hidden benefit. The sit-to-stand doesn't just build strength, it also improves balance reflexes. Each time you stand, your body shifts weight from your hips to your feet, and your brain has to adjust posture to keep you steady. Over time, this repetition trains your body to coordinate better during real-life movements. That's why I call it a functional balance exercise. It mimics exactly what you need in daily life. If you can sit and stand with confidence, you can live with confidence. I've watched seniors practice this exercise, and the change is always striking. At first, many struggle. They push hard with their hands, they move slowly, sometimes they sigh in frustration. But week by week, the strength builds. One day, they stand up smoothly without using their hands, and their face lights up because they realize something powerful. I can rely on my body again. That feeling is priceless. It's not just physical, it's emotional. It's the difference between dreading movement and embracing it, between avoiding social gatherings and joining them freely, between feeling fragile and feeling strong. Every time you rise from a chair without struggle, you are declaring something. I am still independent. I am still capable. I am not defined by age. I am defined by my strength. That's why the sit-to-stand is the perfect closing exercise in this journey. It represents rising above fear, weakness, and limitation. It is a physical action, yes, but also a statement of resilience. Now we've covered all 5 balance exercises every senior must know. Heel-to-toe walk, training stability in a straight line. Single leg stand, building confidence and steadiness. Side leg raises, strengthening the guardrail muscles of the hips. Heel and toe raises, waking up the ankles and feet. Chair, sit to stand, restoring strength and independence. Each one is simple. Each one can be done at home. And each one, if practiced consistently, can dramatically reduce your risk of falls and give you the freedom to move through life without fear. Falls don't just take away health. They take away confidence, independence, and sometimes even years of life. But you are not helpless. You can train your body, you can strengthen your balance, and you can build a safer, more confident future. So here's my question. Which one of these 5 exercises will you begin with today? Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Even a few minutes a day is enough to start building strength and balance. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about avoiding falls. It's about living fully. It's about being able to garden, travel, hug your grandchildren, or simply enjoy a walk without fear. It's about choosing life, freedom, and dignity over worry and dependence. So let's rise together. One step, one exercise, one day at a time. Because with the right habits, we can stop falls after 60 and instead walk boldly into the years ahead.